Driving trains, trucks to parachute planes. Let's see where we drift to. Buffers in reverse, road signs wrecked. It's CK gaming time. Driving trains, trucks to parachute planes. Let's see where we drift to. Buffers in reverse, road signs wrecked. It's CK gaming time. Driving trains, taking the stations, forgetting to stop. Driving through red lights, bad buffer stops. It's time for CK Sim Gaming. CK Sim Gaming. Time. CK Sim Gaming. Driving through stations, forgetting to stop. Driving through red lights, bad buffer stops. It's time for CK Sim Gaming. Trains, trucks to parachute planes. Let's see where we drift to. Buffers in reverse, road signs wrecked. It's CK Sim Gaming time. Driving trains, trucks to parachute planes. Let's see where we drift to. Buffers in reverse, road signs wrecked. It's CK Sim Gaming time. Driving trains, taking the stations, forgetting to stop. Driving through red lights, bad buffer stops. It's time for CK Sim Gaming. CK Sim Gaming. Time. CK Sim Gaming. Driving through stations, forgetting to stop. Driving through red lights, bad buffer stops. It's time for CK Sim Gaming.
Good morning everyone, welcome to another stream back in Microsoft Flight Simulator 2024 today. And I thought, you know what, we've had these storms the last few days and I haven't really done any balloon streams as I've sometimes done in the past when we've had some storms. So I thought, well, why don't I go back a few days when the storm hit us on the Friday over Ireland, and I thought, well, why don't I do a balloon flight then, and we'll see how far we will blow in the wind. So as usual, I've got Volanta up and running. If you want to, put into chat how many miles you'll think we'll go today, or where do you think we'll end up? You know, maybe do you think we'll make it to England today, or do you think we'll make it to Scotland? Who knows where we might go. Anyway, before I start, let's get into the gamulator, and yeah, we'll see what's going on there. Let's get everything all sorted out. Got Volanta up and running as well, and then we've got hopefully you'll see something come up on the screen very, very soon. There we go. Look at that wind. There we are. He's sitting there chilling out, pointing at the grass. It's probably because the grass isn't accurate, but yes, here he is. It's just sitting here. He's anchored down with I don't know what he's anchored down with, but it's a pretty good anchor nonetheless. And yeah, he's just sitting there in the wind, ready to go on another mission. We're in Dublin at the moment. We're in a park in Dublin. I thought, well, we'll just start from Dublin. I've got active sky weather running as well. That's for the historical weather, because obviously you can have historical weather in 2024, but only in the previous 24 hours. So as this happened on Friday, then active sky comes into play. I don't know when the strongest winds were in the Dublin area. They might have been a bit later in the day, because at the moment I've got the game set to the same time as it is now, so it's about 9:56 in the morning, but it's obviously the weather's set to the weather that as it was on Friday. As you can see, it's quite gusty. We've got the parachute, we've got the balloon already set up with all the bits and pieces. I just need to go back in here to the map screen now. I can do it on here actually. Let's just bring up the map screen, and here we go. So this is where we are. We're in Dublin. We're in the city centre somewhere in a little thing. We've also got some airports around. Live traffic is also running, so I think that's from today. So you'll see traffic flying around as it is today. So obviously they won't be affected by the winds. Good morning, Egbert. Hope you're well. So yeah, anyway, we're in this park, and I thought we'd just park here, and I thought, well, we'll just see how far we're going to go. Now hopefully hopefully we can get this thing up and running. Hang on a minute, got to remember how this works. Oh, there we go. I want to get the flames going, and we'll be ready to go. I've got the 4 cylinders all ready to go as well. All the handles are up, and should be a good one, I think. Should be a good one. I'm just going to check. As I said, I've got Volanta running as well. Let's just have a quick look to see that Volanta is working okay. There we go. Right. We can up that. There we go. So you can see Volanta. So at the moment we're just parked here in Dublin, as I said. So I don't know where we're going to go. I've got a feeling with the winds we could end up maybe going around this sort of area, maybe over to Blackpool or Liverpool. I don't really know the exact way of the winds, so I mean it'll be interesting to find out where we go. So we might go over near Isle of Man. It just depends. It depends. Hello Katie, welcome. So yeah, anyway, let's get rid of that. So yeah, anyway, I'll have to get this yeah, let's just turn that off a minute. I'll have to get this balloon up and running. Hopefully you can all hear me. Let me know if you can hear me or not. Don't forget to write into the chat window as well how many miles you think that we're going to travel today. As I said, everything's being monitored by Volanta again, so hopefully that'll give us a go, and we'll see what happens. Right. Anyway, I think we should get the burners ignited. I think, and then we can disappear off. I'm gonna probably aim to get to about 10,000 feet in the balloon, because that's probably where the winds are quite strong up there, and if you go up too high the balloon does cool down very quickly, so you have to keep warming it up. So probably about 10,000 feet would do it. And then we'll see how far we go. The mileometer is still in the speedometer is still in kilometres. I still haven't worked out how to change this on here so it does knots instead. But we'll just have to go with that at the moment. You can see that the wind's quite gusty at the moment. It's kind of gusting between. This is in kilometres an hour, so it's almost 70, 80 kilometres an hour, 60, whatever. But as I said, this isn't probably the place where the strongest winds were, and it's also, as I said, I don't know what exact time the winds were the strongest in Dublin either, because I mean it might have been a bit later in the day when they were the strongest. So as I said, this is set to now, so this is set to 10 o'clock in the morning on the Friday. So we'll have to see. I'm just finishing my coffee off, and then we'll get going. Hope you're all right. Anyway, I need to get this balloon inflated at the first. At the moment the canopy is only in 6 degrees, so we need to warm the canopy up to at least 50 to 60 degrees for us to actually be able to rise up. Now of course, in this kind of weather, look at that lovely little rainbow over there. In reality you wouldn't be able to launch a balloon, but as this is this is not real life, I know I have to keep pointing this out. I mean, it looks like the storm's already damaged some of the buildings. Photogrammetry is great if you want to simulate a war zone, because everything looks like a war zone. So you can all, yeah, exactly, Egbert. I don't want to spill my coffee mid-flight. I don't think we'll see much of the ground in this flight, because once we're in the cloud, we won't really see a lot of it. Look, it's a double rainbow now. Lovely. Right. This is Rainbow Simulator, but without the voices. Right, anyway, let's get my headphones on, because, and let's get the burners up and going. Ernie's Choice, hello, good morning, welcome. Hope you're well. Let me know if the sound of the noise around is drowning out my voice a bit as well. Double vision, right? Anyway, let's add some burner. There we go. So we're just gonna put the burners on, and then we'll wait until we get up to about 50 to 60 degrees, and then we can. Thanks, Ernie. And then we can get going. So yeah, I mean, as I said, you wouldn't be able to do this in reality, because you wouldn't be able to get the. You wouldn't be able to get the hot air into the canopy for a start, but this is for entertainment purposes only. Right, anyway, almost up to 50 degrees now. We're using up quite a lot of gas just to get going. Right, anyway. Right, we're almost at 60. Right, we're at 60 now. Let's get going. Oh, wait. Right, off we go. Let's get the voyage underway over the photogrammetry housing. Right. See if I can zoom out a little bit. There we go. Just to change the field of view. Anyway, I hope you're well, Ernie. Nice to see you. We're just going on a little balloon trip today. So what I just need to do is I just keep needing to keep an eye on the gas, and just to make sure that we don't start going back down again. But we want to get up quite high. As I said, we've got the map going, and we'll keep going a little bit. I'm just going to go to the outside view. You can see it's a little bit. Then we've got the landmarks on at the minute as well, so you can see that we're heading towards Dublin Castle. On a phone about a leak. Oh, not again. Oh, sorry to hear that, Katie. Oh well, you'll be out of there soon, so you won't have to worry about leakings for much longer. Right, so anyway, we're just he just seems to be like chilling as we're just drifting over the houses. We're doing 78 kilometres an hour at the moment, so that's about what is that? About 40 to 50 miles an hour. As I said, I don't know exactly whereabouts in Dublin the strongest winds were and what time they were as well, because obviously they could have been a bit later in the day. Right, let's heat up the balloon again. We've got to get back the canopy back up to about 60C again. As I said, I want to go a bit higher. We're heading towards the just the outskirts of Dublin at the moment. I think we're about to go over. Well, I did think that was a football stadium for a minute there, but it wasn't. I'm also running the SU1 beta as well at the moment. So this is the beta of the update that should be coming out for everybody in about, I don't know when it's actually coming out, but yeah, I'm running the beta as well. For me, the ground textures seem a bit sharper in the beta. I know some people have had issues, but I mean that's the whole point of testing the beta out, isn't it, or installing the beta, you know. So. Just go back up to about 60 degrees again. So we're still climbing up. As I said, the thing is, we've got to see where we end up. We've got four gas tanks here, but they do run out quite quickly. So we'll probably get about an hour to an hour and a half flight time in this before the gas runs out. So hopefully in that time we'll be able to make it all the way across the Irish Sea over to England. That's what I'm hoping. So we'll see what happens. As I want to go up higher though, because I believe that the winds will be high. Will be stronger as we go up a bit higher, and that's why I want to go up a bit more. So we're just cutting over near to there's Dublin Airport just over there. Now I've got live traffic running, so it's probably going to have all the planes flying around in the sim like they are today, so we'll see some. I've got the labels on so you can see the flight numbers as well, so hopefully we won't up to the ISS. No, unfortunately not. We'd run out of gas before we even got that high, plus I don't think the balloon would cope very well with those kind of heights, unfortunately. Even weather balloons with their stuff in, they normally tend to pop when they get up to a certain height. Trouble is, as I said, the higher you go, the quicker the quicker the balloon takes to cool down. So summertime flights are great because the air in around on ground level going up to about 10,000 feet is quite warm. So the actual envelope in the balloon takes longer to cool down. Whereas in this sort of time of year where it's quite cold, and as you go up higher it gets colder, then the envelope cools down a lot quicker, so you have to keep putting more gas in more often, more fuel to keep the thing warmed up. Right, we're just going over Dublin Castle down there. Look, just going over the river now, so we've got a nice scenic view of Dublin at the minute. Plenty of gas in this room, yeah, exactly. Right, we're doing 70 knots now. 70 kilometres an hour, I mean, ground speed now, so. You can sometimes, I don't know if you're picking up, you can hear the gusts of winds as well. So we're about 550 metres up now. So a nice view of Dublin. Yeah, it's quite blowy here as well today, yeah, because there's another bit of wind coming through. But I thought I'd do this for the wind that was on Friday. Right, there's the main railway station just down below me there, Dublin. Don't know what the natural name of the railway station at Dublin is. Don't know if it's like something random like Dublin Central or something. There's a stadium just over there. They probably have rugby in that stadium, don't they? I don't know if it's a football stadium. Probably more rugby. Right, I better start increasing again because we are slowly going back down again now. Got to heat up to about 60. There we go. So that just lets us climb up a little bit more now. Once we're over the sea, though. Thanks for following SU27 Gaming. Hi, SU27. I don't play Roblox myself. Never played it. But thanks for the tip anyway. Yeah, we had one yesterday, which was began with with an H. It was named by the Spanish. It was a bit windy yesterday as well, but not as bad. But I know in Cornwall and that it was quite windy, so. One of the reasons I did this flight from Friday is because the wind was going across from Ireland over to England, so I thought, well, at least I can start in Dublin and then I'll see if we can get over the Irish Sea. Yeah, that was it, Herminia. That's the one. I'm guessing SU-27 Gaming is based on the Sukhoi 27 fighter jet. Your first part of your name. I guess you played DCS quite a bit, maybe. I've never played DCS. I've heard good things about it, though. So there's Dublin Airport over there. On the day of the storm at Dublin, Aer Lingus Express moved a lot of their ATRs down to Exeter Airport for storage there for the day because of the winds being quite high in the Dublin, and they were worried about their planes getting damaged, so they flew a lot of them down to Exeter for about, I don't know, for most of the day, and then once the winds calmed down a bit, they flew them back. I only know that because someone mentioned that on social media with some pictures. I think there was about 4 or 5 ATRs all just sitting around at Exeter. I guess Exeter they used because maybe Exeter had quite low fees for them for being a part there for a while, maybe. So obviously, you know, they might have wanted to park somewhere else, but they were told, oh, you know, maybe they were trying to find a cheaper option. You know, like they probably would have come somewhere else, but I guess it's just maybe Exeter did a good deal with them. Right, anyway, we're still coming out, as I said, we're starting to go out a bit more into the cloud now, which is, unfortunately, is one of those things that's going to happen. Right, let's just get the canopy back up to about 60C again. We can go up a little bit higher. The wind is now 102 knots now. Sorry, 102 kilometres. I keep saying kilometres, knots instead of kilometres. So it's about 60 miles an hour now. Doesn't seem that high, but like I say, I don't know when the winds were strongest here, because as I said, this is all set to local time, like in the sim now. So it's about 10 AM in the morning. So I mean, the stronger winds might have been a bit later in the day. So, and plus, you know, they might not have been strongest over Dublin. It could have been in other areas of Ireland, Northern Ireland, where the winds are even stronger. So this is just for fun. As we go up into the clouds, so we're going to lose all sight of the ground soon. But you can see the canopy does cool down quite quick. I mean, we're at 60 C just now. It's already gone down to 50. And once we get to about 40 C, then the balloon will start descending again. So I have to keep it at about 50 to 60 because I do want to climb up a bit as well to about 2,000 meters or so. Well, 2,000 meters or about when we come out of the cloud. Yeah. Yeah, we're doing 124 kilometers an hour wind now, so that's gone up to 80 now. So the winds are now about 80 mile an hour here now. So we got 80 mile an hour winds where I'm at right now. So and that's a sustained wind. That's not a gust. That's actually a wind that's constant. I've got a feeling we'll probably get up to about 100 as we go up a bit more, and then that hopefully that'll give us enough to get over to the UK. As I said, well, I'm not sure exactly where we're heading at the moment. Somewhere probably Liverpool, Blackpool way probably. Be interesting to see. I've got to keep an eye on my gas cylinders as well, because at some point, you know, as I said, we've probably got about an hour's gas before it runs out. Nice little island down there as well. So we're about 3,600 feet up now. Well, roughly about that. There's a aircraft landing there from Portugal. Trying to think where PT is. Where's that one? That's it's not Faro, is it? Lisbon, I think it is, isn't it? LPPT. No, Porto, isn't it? Porto is PT. Yeah, so that's Porto. So that's a tap flight. Very ironic, tap flight in the water and the rain. So I don't know what to do with this flight again. You know, like normally I'll do a balloon flight, and then when we land we actually just carry on with the balloon until the balloon gets stuck and can't go anymore. So I'll probably do the same thing. Be interesting to see whereabouts it gets stuck. Maybe in the side of somebody's back garden or something, you know, or in a tree, a row of trees or something. But let's see if it even if it gets to the other side. The winds are now 134 kilometers an hour. So as I said, quite strong winds. Right, once the canopy gets down to about 50 C again, I'll increase it to about 60 again. On Blackpool Tower, yeah, that would be funny, wouldn't it? If it got stuck on Blackpool Tower. That would be a pretty good shot, that. Oh, just about to have an aircraft flying quite close to us by below. That's an Aer Lingus flight, flight 124. Don't know where it's gone though. I disappeared into the cloud. Right, 142 kilometers an hour now, the wind. So it is increasing, but as I said, the trouble is as we go up higher, the canopy does cool down a lot quicker. I just want to go up a little bit. I want to see if I can get up above this cloud. Hopefully the cloud's not too high. It'd be nice to get above the cloud. As I said, I think probably the winds will max out probably at over 100 miles an hour once we're a bit higher, but I don't want to go too high because I have to think about this poor little fella sitting in his basket, and you know, he's only got a t-shirt and shorts on. So he's probably freezing already. Plus you need some oxygen as we go up higher, so you know. Got to care about my little AI people here. It's like my little Tamagotchi. Oh look, we're actually coming out now. You can see the top of the clouds just over there. It looks nice. Right. Right, we got an SCS. I don't know what flight code that is. SCS. SZS. Don't know what that is. Oh, we're doing nearly 150 kilometres an hour now, so we're getting up to the 100-mile-an-hour mark. Once we reach 160, still climbing up a little bit. 1,800 metres up now. A sofa special flight. A sofa special. SCS. Oh, thank you, Ernie's Choice. Oh, it's okay. Yeah, it must be one of their flight numbers that they have, you know, like Ryanair does for different, like there's another Ryanair code and EasyJet have different codes. So I'm guessing SZS is probably like the SAS that's the, I know there's some SAS, is it SAS Connect, which is like part of the SAS network, but all their planes have got Irish registrations on, I think. Something like that. Right, 152 kilometres an hour, so that might be the code for that. Be even funny if you land on top of my new flat. Yeah. I don't even know if we're going to get there. I'm too scared to look at Volanta to see, in case it spoils the excitement, you know, because it might spoil the surprise. Because you might see we're heading more towards Liverpool or something. Right, better add a bit more the old hot air. Got enough Aer Lingus flight number. I'm just going to zoom the map out a bit. Let's see. Let's just zoom the map out a little bit. There we go. So you can see all the planes heading in. There we go. So you can see we're a little bit out off over the coastline now. There's quite a few planes that are all going in towards Ireland, although that's a bit scary, having typical flight simulator AI control there. They've got about God knows how many planes. Can you imagine how many go-arounds there's going to be with all that? Look, someone's trying to push in already. Look, I want to be first. Yeah, welcome to the world. Right. Let's put that back down. Oh, wind whistling away. As I said, I'm trying to get above. I want to get above the cloud. Oh look, there we go. We are kind of getting above the clouds now. That's nice. So we are kind of just. I want to kind of keep about this height if I can, not go down too much. We're doing nearly 100 miles an hour now anyway, so that's all cool. I have to just check my fuel as well. Hang on a sec. Yeah, we got about we had 40 gallons in total, and now we've got 28 gallons. So yeah, we've used up nearly half of it. Well, not half of it yet, but we're getting there. We're getting there. So we've got a bit left. That's just the beer fueling. Wine. The wine is the The trouble is, we're stuck in this bit of cloud at the minute, because as the cloud's more or less going the same speed we are, so. But we can see a bit of the tops of the clouds over here, and the reason why the clouds aren't going in past us is because we're moving with the clouds. So, you know, that's the other thing. The clouds will hardly move because we're moving with them. Chateau de Reverse. Yeah, it's a special blend. Right, anyway, we'll have to see how we get on here. CK's fuel, balloon fuel, same thing. Yeah, exactly. It's just basically aftershave. It's eternity. That's when you keep adding more fuel in all the time. You know, by using the interface so you never run out. Or you just go into the interface and click unlimited fuel and you never run out. But a bit like our other balloon was like that. 2020 never ran out of gas, so you could just carry on forever. It used to have a limited gas supply, then the sim update broke it. Which is why I like this one in 2024, because at least you kind of know that at some point you are going to run out. Buffered. Have to get you lot in the marketing team, I think. So yeah, not much to see now, as I said, you know, because the clouds aren't really, and we're going over water, so you can't really, apart from you can sort of look down and maybe see the water moving by underneath us, but we are quite high up now. So there's a right there. There's one of those flight codes. I mean, this one's RUK, but that's the Ryanair UK kind of subsidiary of Ryanair, so all their aircraft are all UK registered, whereas normally, you know, Ryanair have Irish registered planes, and these ones, the RUK code is the Ryanair UK. It's also they have like Ryanair flight numbers, but they're Louder Air, and then they have another lot which is the what's it called, Buzz. Bad. I like that one. That sounds quite good. So where's this one from? Is it from Edinburgh? There you go. So it's a Ryanair flight from Edinburgh. It's at 7,000 feet at the minute. Yeah, SCA, the Scandinavian Airline Ireland. Yeah, that's right. As I said, they have Irish registered. I think they're mainly like CRJs and stuff. I think they have some A320 Neos as well. And then SAS is like the main code. I don't think I have the ships enabled either, so you won't be able to see many ships. Although, to be honest, on the day I doubt if there'd be that many. Well, actually, there would probably be out at sea, because there'd be, you know. Can you get a balloon to SPAD? I don't know. Don't think so. Not unless someone makes some scenery that's got traffic lights in the game, and then I go down a road with traffic lights, and I go past a traffic light that's got a red light on it. But that is possible. There are people that have done sceneries with road crossings and traffic lights. So. for example, Burning Blue's free payware Solent Airport on the south coast, they have the beach huts modelled on the beach, and also the pedestrian crossing that you go to cross over the road to get to the beach, because it's all by the airfield, so they have all that modelled in. So I don't know if the traffic lights actually work though, in which case I could park the balloon and then float over the traffic light when it's red and say I spadded. So yes, in a way it's kind of possible. You can see the water down there. A lot of white tips on the waves down there. Right, we're doing 160 kilometers an hour now, more or less. So yeah, we're going quite quick. Not doing too bad. Hopefully we can make it over to England. I'll bring the Volanta map up while I'm here, actually, just so you know. There is some good news with the Volanta map. As you can see, we're kind of heading sort of. We might be north of Blackpool, more towards Lake Windermere and Kendal. So we'll basically have all the hills of the Lake District to deal with. That's if we carry on this present course, of course. It might curve around a bit more. So it's. Oh yeah, exactly. It's a good thing. Right, so let's just check the temperature again. Yeah, we're getting a bit low on the temperatures now, so I have to just boost it up a little bit. There we go. Right. So we're climbing up a little bit. As I said, I want to keep climbing a little bit, but not for much longer though. You can see it's raining down there, because you can see where there's a rainbow, where the sun's obviously catching the rain from down there. And we're at an angle as well. I mean, poor guy sitting there with his basket almost like tipped up at an angle. Yeah, we're almost at 10,000 feet now. So yeah, he's probably freezing cold. He's got his t-shirt on. I'd hate to think what the temperature is at 10,000 feet on a day like Friday, but there we go. He won't feel a lot of the wind though, because he's travelling with the wind, so he won't feel those wind gusts as much, if you know what I mean. The basket will move about, but because he's travelling with the wind, he probably doesn't actually feel it, if you know what I mean. So we're just there we go. He's just looking around. There's a Lufthansa. Is that DLH? That's Lufthansa, isn't it? Lufthansa's DLH call sign. He can hear me. Yeah, probably. He turned to look at me. Yeah, he does that now and again. He also points at things. I think he's pointing at the cloud textures. He's like, they're not very good cloud textures. Or there's you know, the water's too blue, or there'll be something wrong with something. Poor guy, probably lamenting that he turned down the job with Squirrel. Yeah. Yeah, all London controller, or Chewy. Although, you know, because they're mainly airline flights. Is that why he's wearing those headphones? Yeah, yeah. You can get them to wear different headgear. Egbert, in a creation screen, you can kind of go and add more stuff. I'm hoping that over time they'll add more clothing and stuff. You can get them to wear a pair of jeans or a t-shirt or a jumper or a kind of pilot uniform or something. Get him to dress up like a fighter pilot, which I've done in the past, made him look like a fighter pilot. That might have been better for today, actually. Yeah, CK cancelling headset, yeah. CK cancelling. Over there he's going, that way. And then you got the little map on the top there. You can sort of see roughly where we're going. But obviously we're kind of heading in an easterly direction at the minute, sort of. I'm guessing we're going 112 degrees, I don't know. That might be the direction the balloon nearly fell out. Yeah, poor bloke. Poor guy. I think those markers that we can just see over there, I think that's for the Isle of Man. So I think the Isle of Man is just over there. Maybe we're going to land in Valley in North Wales. CK is going to scare him with a flyby. Trying to remember what the key code was for. Yeah, there we go. There's the that's the drone cam. There you go. That's how fast he's actually going in the wind now. He's moving quite quick. So that's like a flyby. So we can see how quickly he's going. It's going quite fast. Right. Let's get back in here though, because I have to keep monitoring these temperatures. Yeah, exactly. We're doing about 100 mile an hour at the minute, indeed. That's why I wanted to come up to this sort of height, because the wind was a bit more faster at this height, because we're about, as I said, around 9,000 to 10,000 feet up. And then I just need to just make sure I don't climb too high. So I'm just sort of putting a bit of gas in now and again, but it will run out eventually. So once we start, but I'm hoping that there'll be enough of a speed now that we can actually make it across over to England at least before the gas starts to get too low. But as I said, the only problem with going up high is that the canopy, the envelope itself, cools down a lot quicker, which is, you know, the only downside when you're trying to do balloon flights this time of year. I mean, if you were trying to do a balloon flight in Sweden at the minute, you know, if you're in northern Sweden trying to do a balloon flight, it would be a nightmare, because you'd have to constantly keep using up the gas just to keep the canopy from freezing up because of the cold temperatures. The air would be really cold. Whereas if you go to somewhere like India or Australia, you use up less gas, because the air temperature, even at 10,000 feet, would be quite warm. You know, if it's 40 degrees on the ground, by 10,000 feet it's still quite warm, so you don't use as much gas up. Didn't you eat beans before? No, I should have done, shouldn't I? I just had toast for breakfast this morning. I didn't want to eat anything too substantial. Oh, there's an Emirates flight over there, a 777-300 heading to Dublin. But yeah, we got the Lake District potentially, because it's going to be quite hilly, so that's going to cause a problem when I'm coming back down. But the landing part will be just as exciting as well, because like I say, the landing part can last about 10-20 minutes or even longer, just because we're going through fields and through trees. It'd be interesting to see, because there has been a few game updates since I last sort of did a balloon flight. So I don't know if they might have tuned some things or changed some things. Maybe the balloon won't go through trees as easily as it was before. So we'll have to see what happens. This is all like a new adventure. There'll be plenty of mite muting. Yeah, indeed, exactly. You just sort of like hear it. Yeah. Right, anyway, let's add a little bit more to that. But once we get quite low on the gas, I'm going to have to start coming back down anyway, because I can't just run out of gas at this sort of height, because the balloon will just get cold and then it will just plummet down to the ground, which isn't a good thing. So I have to come down quite gradually. Bit of a change with the weather then. Like I say, I'm using Active Sky today for the weather, purely because this was all on Friday, and in MSFS 2024 you can only go back about 24 hours of weather from now, so you can only go back to 10:42 yesterday. So to get the weather from Thursday and Friday, then you have to use Active Sky, which is what I'm using at the minute, so I can go back a few days and then it'll just load in the weather as we go along. So there'll be sometimes these little transitions or whatever that you get with Active Sky, unfortunately, but for this kind of task it's good for the task. It's good for the job, doing it for this. I tend to use the real weather a lot more than live weather, but as I said, Active Sky is handy for situations like this. Hopefully you've learned your balloon to swim. Normally what happens is, well, I don't know, I mean, as I said, I don't know how it's going to be now, because I said this is the Sim Update 1 beta that I'm playing in the minute, so that's already got fixes and changes to things, and then there's been a few game updates since the game was released. So, as I said, I don't know what the balloon's going to do when we get down to ground level. I'm hoping it's just going to behave like it did before, where we're just going to go through fields and that for about 20 minutes before we get stuck on something. Rather than it just sort of land and then we sort of stop dead, and then that's about it. But we'll see what happens. I need to try the Cirrus Jet as well. The Cirrus Jet and the Cirrus plane at some point as well, because you know I did a stream with the parachutes on those. The Cirrus plane parachute was terrible. The Cirrus Jet parachute was a bit better, because obviously that has an effect. So I'm hoping that they might have changed some things with them, but I'm not too sure really. Right, still doing about 155 kilometers an hour, and we're, let's see, how high are we? We're about 10,000 feet at the minute. Still starting to see, I think that's the Isle of Man coming across on the top left hand side, and I think that might be, is that the coast of Wales up there? On the top right of that circle up here. I think this might be the North Wales coast here, and then this is Isle of Man here, and we're kind of going up the middle, sort of towards, you know, Blackpool, that sort of area. Better look at my balloon thing at the minute. Let's have a quick look at that. How are we doing on here? Yeah, so we're about halfway through our gas now, which isn't too bad. So yeah, we've got about 20 gallons left now. But once we get down to about, I don't know, 1 or 2 gallons left in each tank, I'll have to start thinking about coming down, because I don't want to have a crazy landing, basically. We'll leave that on that screen for now, actually, because until we actually go back over land. I still wish that they'd put place names on that map. They still haven't put place names on the map, because it'd be nice to have that map up so I can see what places we fly over. I think there is a way that we can do it, actually. Hang on a minute. I think I can do it in Navigraph. Let's see. I think Navigraph will show it. Just hope it doesn't crash the sim. That'd be ironic, wouldn't it? Oh, I've got to sign in again on there. Oh well, I'll leave that. We'll go back to the normal flight planner. I'll have to do that off stream. But you can use the Navigraph map and that'll have the place names on it. So yeah. Right, let's zoom out a little bit anyway. So yeah, you can sort of see there's North Wales, there's Isle of Man, and we're kind of going straight down the middle. So yeah, interesting. There's quite a few planes flying around near us as well. Let's put the other screen back up again with the gap. There we go. I'll have that on there. Right, what's the canopy doing now? Might have to start. Gosh, yeah, it's getting a bit cold now. Yeah, I neglected it. We've dropped down a little bit, but not too much. Of course, it means I have to add more gas in now. There we go. That should be enough to make us go up again a little bit. So yeah, halfway with the gas. What's the stream time so far? We did, don't forget, at the beginning, did have to use a lot of gas right at the beginning just to get the canopy from 9 degrees up to 60 degrees. So that used up a bit of gas right at the start to even leave. But how long have I been streaming for now? About an hour nearly. Okay, so we got probably about an hour's worth of gas left. So if we're doing about 100 miles an hour, I think we'd probably have enough to get over, won't we? Get over the Irish Sea. Thank you, Ernie. Yeah, so it's about an hour more or less, nearly. So I think we probably got enough to get over at this speed anyway. Some of you might be saying, well, the jet stream was crazy the other week. You know, some flights were doing, was it 200 plus mile an hour winds over the Atlantic, wasn't it? But the trouble is, this balloon, time you even got up to 30,000 feet, that where the jet stream is, you'd almost be out of gas anyway. So you wouldn't really be able to make most of it in the balloon. Now, for the drifting flight, that's a different matter. You know, with the Sting, where we let that drift. So that might be something I might try another day, is getting the Sting and then starting from, say, the east coast of America, going up to 40,000 feet and letting it drift in the wind with those jet streams that they had the other day. I think it was like Wednesday or Thursday. The jet stream was really strong. Just to see how far we go. Although I've got a feeling we'll probably end up in the Atlantic, to be honest. But yeah, because I mean, you know, the Atlantic's quite big, and even if you're doing 200 mile an hour winds, you know, that's still 5 hours to do 1,000 miles. So yeah, but it'd be funny just to see what sort of what the wind speed would be like. So yeah, not much to see at the minute, unfortunately, because we're going over the Irish Sea. So, and with all the cloud around, you can't really see any of the ground. The only reason I know there's places, I can see over there. There's a couple of markers. So as I said, they're points of interest. So that's probably the ones for the Isle of Man. So that's the only reason why I know that we're getting close to places. Wind speed's dying off a little bit here now. We're doing 152 kilometres now. It might be because we're going up a little bit more, so I might need to just descend a little bit, go back down maybe to about 3,300 metres or so. because we're going to have to go back down soon at some point anyway, because of the gas. But I was thinking about it over the weekend, you know, Friday and all that. I was thinking, well, it's quite a stormy day, and I should have done a stream really on Friday with the balloon, but I kind of wasn't thinking. I was just, because we did this before Christmas, didn't we? There was a storm, and it was a bit windy, and I did a balloon flight. I think I started from, where was it we started from? It's the Isle of Wight, wasn't it, or somewhere like that, wasn't it? South Coast, and then we went up to. We did it over several flights, didn't we? I think we ended up north somewhere, and I think I did another one where we went from up north and then we went down south because the wind was coming from the other direction. Yeah. I mean, with Active Sky, yeah, with the historical, I can always go back. Yeah, definitely. So you can always pick storms in the past. I mean, you can't go back so far. I can't go back to sort of like 19, you know, like when we had that really bad storm in 97, was it? Was it 97? Or was it 87? Can't remember. What year was it, that storm that we had down on the south coast that went through, and it was quite a bad storm. But you won't be able to do that one, for example, because historical weather on here won't go that far, back that far. Yeah, 87, yeah, I think that's right, because I was still at school, remember, because we had the day off, because nobody could go to school next day. Not because the school was damaged, it's just, I suppose it was just because there was so much damage on the road, the teachers couldn't really get to school. They probably had their own little mini disasters. Some of them might have had trees down in their gardens and they were probably ringing in. That was when you had to, that was when, back then, when you had to listen to your local radio station to know if your school was open or not, you know, because we didn't have websites and school, all that stuff like you do now. You know, you had to like listen to your local radio. So there had been some times when I'd actually been to school and got there and it was closed because I didn't know it was closed. You wouldn't even known. I remember one time they had snow in Brighton. I went to college and I travelled all the way to college in the snow, and the third rail was a nightmare because you can imagine what the third rail's like when it's icy and snowy and all the trains all kind of sparking everywhere. So I travelled all the way to Brighton to go to college, and I got there and then there was a couple of people there that were working there, and they were just saying, "Oh, college is shut today." And I said, "Why is that?" And they said, "Oh, you know, a lot of the teachers couldn't make it," and they're all like teachers that only live probably a few miles away. And I was like, well, if I can come in, why can't they? But of course, Brighton was like a snow fest, you know, there was snow everywhere. Because Brighton's quite hilly, so they do get quite a lot of snow on the downs around Brighton. But I was kind of a bit miffed that I'd spent like 2-3 hours to get there, and then was told, "Oh, well, you can go home because, well, you know, no one else has bothered to turn up." So I had to go all the way home again, and it took me about another 2-3 hours because all the trains were all messed up. Funny. Funny times. Look at that. That looks quite nice, doesn't it? Mashed potato land. See, the trouble is, it just looks like we're hardly moving. I mean, you can see that the sea below us is moving by, but because we're quite high up, it's just moving by quite slow. But and because the clouds are moving with us, the clouds aren't moving, so it just looks like we're just sort of stationary almost. It's only where you can sort of see the clouds are kind of, you know, forming and unforming themselves, you know, over time. It's the only sort of movement you get, and the basket rocking, but apart from that, you wouldn't really know how fast we were going if it wasn't telling me on here. I wouldn't have a clue. Right, how are we doing now? Still got, still haven't got down to the next level yet. I think it's because I'm not using so much gas up here at the minute. I'm just sort of doing it in bursts. It's lasting a bit longer. We are going down a little bit more again though, but I just want to go down a little bit. But I've just got to keep an eye on the envelope, because I don't want the envelope to get too cold, otherwise we'll just plummet down, which is not good. So got to keep that relatively warm. It's about 30 degrees centigrade at the minute, the canopy. You can sort of see it's just going down a little bit. So when it gets down to about a little bit more, so we're falling down at about 2.3 meters a second at the minute. You can tell that by looking at this little gauge here, you see. So this is like that's telling me what my speed is at the moment in kilometers. There's my height, and that tells you what the what my descent rate is at the minute. So about 2.5 feet per minute, and that's my canopy temperature there. So you can also have a stopwatch in that you can set up, but that's a bit too we're kind of going in an easterly direction. Yeah, I don't know exactly what direction. I mean, the winds are coming from southwest, I think, southwesterly, so it's pushing us sort of northeast. So we're kind of going northeast at the minute, kind of. Once I've just put a bit more gas in it, I'll bring the Volanta map up so you can see the direction we're going on the map. Let's have a look. Let's just bring Volanta up so you can see. There's our direction. So we started at Dublin, and as you can see, we're kind of moving in a northeasterly direction at the moment. So yeah, so we're sort of heading towards the Lake District area. We're going to be sort of just north of Blackpool, I think. So at the moment, of course, it could curve round. I don't know what the wind's going to do. But yeah, there's our direction. So we're about halfway across the Irish Sea now, more or less. Well, maybe just a little bit over halfway. And we've gone down to we've got 16 gallons of gas left now. So yeah, we got 4 in each, more or less 4 gallons in each. So yeah. The only other thing though is we do get a bit lighter, because as we burn off gas, our balloon gets a bit lighter, so that helps a little bit as well. But not a lot. Be nice when we actually start to see land appearing as we're going along. So we're in a little bit of a break of the clouds at the minute. So we're in this little clear area right below. Do you play flight sims, Ernie? But yeah, on the getting to the ground is going to be the fun part. We'll just have to see what happens. I as I said, I'm not using 2024 so much at the minute. A lot of the planes that I like to fly are in 2020, and they've not really been carried over to 2024 yet properly. So, but for this sort of streams, the balloon and other things, I'm still using 2024. You don't play a flight sim? Okay, train sim. Oh, okay. That's cool. Anything that you've got new for train sim recently that you're enjoying at the moment? Not at this moment. Yeah, I think for me, I'm just waiting for the UK Northern, the North London line thing to come out for Train Sim World 5, and the is it the cargo line pack as well. There's a German route as well that's going to be coming out soon as well. They did a preview of it the other day, but I kind of forgot to watch it, so which might be a good thing anyway. I downloaded, of course, Train Sim World 5 had some updates as well last week, and still waiting for the patch for West Coast Main on over Shap. And yeah, and then the patch was quite good though, because it included, like, you could use the pacer in guard mode and that, so I did a stream of that. But I'm just trying to work out a way that you can do guard mode on more than one journey without having to go back to the menu and choosing it each time. You know, it'd be great if you could sort of do guard mode on one service, and then you could, when that one's finished, you could then just be a guard on the next one. You can kind of be a guard on the next one, but then you don't get all the things come up like the ticket checks or anything, so then you have to do it through the menu again properly, which is a bit annoying. Yeah, my rig can do 2SW2 at the best. Oh yeah, now I remember now, Eric. So apologies, it's just that sometimes I get quite a few viewers in that are kind of new, and it's really hard to keep up with what their thing is, whereas some of my older viewers, it's a little bit easier to remember what sort of things they like to play. So sorry about all the questions. But yeah, as you write more things, and I remember. So yeah, TSW2. Yeah. But yeah, we were playing some TSW2 routes the other day. East Coast Way I was playing. Bit of London commuter. Both like those two routes. London commuter and East Coast Way. Partly because they're areas that are quite close to where I live anyway. Saving money to buy a new one. Yeah, I'd like to get a new one day as well. I see, I was reading that a lot of people are panic selling their 40 series graphics cards now because they're so desperate to get the new ones that are coming out. So there was, I think there was a guy in Australia who's on YouTube, and he was going around and he was going around seeing what people were trying to sell cards for, and people were selling like 4080s for about 600-700 UK pounds because they were desperate to sell them so they could get a 50 card when they come out. You know, put some money towards thing. One guy was sold a PC which was basically an i9 10900K. Didn't have the graphics card with it, but it had 32 gigs of RAM and everything, and he was selling it for about £500 because he wanted to get rid of it, because he wanted to build a new PC, an AMD one, so he was selling that. Another guy was selling a 3080 for about £300 because he was so desperate to get rid of it. It's just, This is crazy. This is all in Australian money, so I'm converting it to pounds and Australian money. But, yeah. But yeah, the power consumption on the 5090 is pretty crazy. There was one graphics card that someone was reviewing, which was a aftermarket one, an MSI one. And when you overclock it and set it up, it's using nearly 700 watts of power just for a graphics card. Crazy. I mean, my power supply itself is only 700 watts, if that. and it's quite a few years old now, so over time efficiency goes down anyway. So I mean, you know. You've got a GTX 1060. Yeah, see, a 1060 is still quite decent in these day and age, though. What it is a nice card. As I said earlier, if you're thinking about getting one on a budget, I'd probably think about getting one of those Intel cards that they recently brought out, because they're got about 12 gigs of VRAM, and they're sort of like almost all quicker than a 4060 in performance. Obviously, you don't have all the goodies that an Nvidia card will have, like frame gen and all that sort of stuff, but you know, for the money though, it's and it doesn't consume a lot of power either. Yeah, you got a 850. Yeah, I think was it an FX 8320 CPU? Aren't they the bulldozer ones? Didn't they get called bulldozers? Well, they might have been the ones after. I think one of my viewers used to have one of those CPUs. I mean, this PC is quite old myself. I mean, apart from the graphics card, my PC is an i5 2500K, so it's a CPU from 2011, which I overclock, because the actual default clock speed of this CPU is about 3.3 gigahertz, but I overclock mine to 4.5 gigahertz, because they're quite good chips to overclock, these i5 2500Ks. And I've got DDR3 memory, 16 gigs. So as I said, this PC I'm streaming on now is basically, apart from the graphics card and the fact we've got SSDs in there now, it's a pretty old PC. 12 years old. Yeah, this one would be, I don't know, how old's that now? 2012 I built it. So yeah, this is getting on to about 12 years for, you know, as well. Yeah, I can't remember when I built mine. I think it was nearly 2012, so I think it might have been about November 2011. But originally I had an AMD, well actually first of all I had an Nvidia 760 GPU in it, and then I got an R9 280X AMD card in it. And I gave the 760 to a friend of mine, because he was getting a new PC build, and I said, oh, you can have that in it. So he had that, and I got a new new AMD card at the time, because the Nvidia ones were like a bit more expensive. But yeah, this is getting on a bit now, and you know, as I said, the newest part of this is the graphics card, and even that's from probably about 4 or 5 years old now, the graphics card, perhaps. I can't remember. And I only got that because my other card died. Actually, no, it might be a bit newer than that. I think my card might be 21, 20, something like that. You know, because it was Christmas. Oh, nice. So you were sort of building yourself a little sort of like Christmas PC. That's cool. But yeah, I mean, if I was going to build a brand new PC today, I'd probably go down the AMD road still. Get like a Ryzen graphics card. I'm not so sure, because of my budget. So, although I do kind of like the 5070, so I don't know. But then they are still quite expensive. But the 5070 is more or less the same sort of price what my graphics card cost when I got it. Because when I got my graphics card, it was a choice between a 2060, which was about the same price, or a 2070. The 2070 was about £100 more. So the card I got was kind of bang in the middle of both of them. And then performance-wise, in a lot of gaming benchmarks, my GPU was about the same as the 2070 Super. In some of the benchmarks, the only thing about my card is it doesn't have ray tracing, but that doesn't bother me because some of the games I bother with ray tracing anyway. And I only game at 1080p, so I don't need a graphics card that can do, 4K and all that sort of stuff. So right, we're doing 162 knots now. I've gone up a little bit higher, probably because I was too busy talking. This card was the best for the money I got to. Yeah. I mean, normally the 60 series by Nvidia, they're quite competitive on the price. I mean, the 1060 was quite a good series of cards. It was the 10 series was quite a good set that year. I mean, the 1080 Ti was a fantastic card, and they weren't mega expensive at that point either. I mean, you were paying not a bad price for a high-end Nvidia card at the time, and the 1080 Ti was a good card. If you've got if you have like a Hall of Fame of some of the best graphics cards that came up out in history, 1080 Ti is definitely one of those that's on that list. And then the 2080 came out after, and then of course the 2080 was I think it was about 30 or 40% more the retail cost. So everyone was complaining about the price of a 2080 compared to a 1080. And then of course now you have the 40 series and the 50 series, and they're kind of quite crazy, the prices. I mean, even motherboards have gone up in price a lot now as well. But then again, you kind of look back in years to like the 90s, where you see computer ads for a computer in the 1990s, and even then, you had to pay quite a lot for a computer in the 90s. Hard drives are expensive, memory was expensive, and over time some of these things got cheaper. I mean, I remember paying £100, I think it was, or maybe just over £100 for a 512k expansion pack for my Amiga in the late 80s, I think it was. Imagine paying like £100 for 512k of RAM. I mean, a floppy disk drive you'd have to pay like 30-40 quid for sometimes for a floppy disk drive. So, I mean, that's in if you sort of tried to work out how much that was in today's money. Or even computer games back in the day. I mean, an Atari cartridge for 2600 was about 20 to 30 quid for a cartridge game. Imagine what that'd be in today's money. And people complain about paying 80 quid for a game now. Well, that must be easily equivalent to that in today's money and all. Especially if you bought ET. Well, I do feel sorry. Luckily for me, when I had my Atari, you could go to a video rental store and they would rent out Atari games, so I could always, if I wanted to play a cartridge game, I could rent it for 3 days for not a lot of money. Then I could try it out, and if it was any good. But then again, I think one of my favourite Atari games was Empire Strikes Back. That was pretty decent. I like that. And Pitfall was quite good as well back in the day. Pitfall, Empire Strikes Back though, Parker Brothers. That was really good. In fact, a lot of the decent games for the Atari 2600 were made by Parker Brothers. Or Activision. I think Activision and Parker Brothers were like linked together, so I know my first computer I bought was a 3860 X40 with a co-processor. Yeah, the old co-processors, yeah. because I had to do the maths thing. Yep. Cost over 10G, yeah, doesn't surprise me. Right, we're starting to get a little bit low on the gas now. We've got about 12 gallons left now. So I'm hoping we're going to meet... Well, I think I can just about see land. Or is that just the bottom of the cloud? Over there, maybe. What's for AutoCAD 10? Yeah, that was not a cheap program either. I used to work for a company that used to be an Autodesk reseller as well. We used to sell 3D Studio, AutoCAD, Animator Pro, which was like a 2D animation package for the PC. But yeah, 3D Studio was quite a lot of money as well. And then they bought out 3D Studio Max a bit later. That was pretty mega expensive. You used to have the dongles that you used to put in as like protection into the printer port. It was like a parallel port, like dongle thing that you put in. I think if I remember, it had a pass-through on it, so obviously, you know, you could still connect a printer up to it and stuff. But it was just like a copy protection, so when you loaded the game up, it would check to make sure you had the thing in. So then it'd let you use it. But of course, that was back in DOS times as well, when you used to play DOS games. So I always used to have different batch files set up as well, different config.sys's, different autoexec.bats for different games, because some of them you had to put certain things in, you know, IRQ ports, DMA ports, for the sound card or whatever. HiMem.sys and all these other things. So yeah. Well, I'm starting to descend a little bit now. Still using DOS to write batch files to use into Windows. Yeah, exactly. I still sometimes use the command prompt as well. Not so much now as I used to back in the day, though. But that was the only programming I ever did, though, was just editing the autoexec.back or the config.sys. I just used to have a thing where I'd just rename them. So if I was playing a certain game that was very finicky, then I'd just have a certain config.sys file for it, and I just used to rename them as I went. You know, I wasn't good enough to make a program up where you could actually have a menu that came up and you could just choose it. I've never been a programmer, but used to do the job though. Here he is, he's just chilling out, literally. He's 11,000 feet up. Oh, I can start to see the coast coming up though. Start to see the coast. I think we might make it, I think. Although it's going to be quite tight. Yeah, exactly. I mean, it was the same with me. You know, I've never been a programmer. I think the nearest I ever got to programming something was, as I mentioned before, was when I had one of these magazines that you used to get for your Commodore 64, and you know, they had like a program in there, so you'd have to type it from the magazine, and I remember typing it all in, double checking that it all worked, and then I pressed the button, you know, typed in run or whatever it was to make it work, and nothing happened. It just come up with an error. So I was pretty annoyed because I was like looking through everything, and I saved it all on a tape, so I could obviously just load it up again. But yeah, it didn't work. And then the magazine came out. I think it was like every month it came out. So the following month it came out, and then it kind of had on a page, oh, just to let you know, there was a typo in the thing from last month, and then they had the proper line you were supposed to put in, so I changed that line or whatever it was, and it worked. And it was such a basic game though. I mean, it was just something you typed in Commodore 64 Basic. It was almost a bit like that game, oh, what was it, Centipede, where you had like these little worms on the screen and you had to sort of like fire at them or something. But it took me ages to type it all in. And then you had everything on cassette tape. Well, if you were lucky, you could have everything on a floppy disk tape. Well, we're just about to go over a wind farm. I don't think those wind turbines would be working down there. I think they would burn out if they were in operation on that day. Right, we're starting to come down a little bit now because we've only got 8 gallons left now. So I need to start descending now, down a bit. So I'm hoping as we get down, as I said, we're still doing 154 kilometers an hour, so we're still doing nearly 100 miles an hour at the moment. So you have a 3.5. Yeah, for my Commodore 64, I just had a tape drive because they were quite common in the UK. All your games came on cassette tapes, and if you had a bit more money, you could get floppy disk versions of games. I know a friend of mine had a Commodore 64 with the floppy disk, which was a 5.25-inch disk drive. I think it was the 1541 disk drive. I think that's what it was, the Commodore 1541. I think it was, and it was great because you'd get the games and you would literally put them in the disk drive and then they'd literally load up really fast. On a tape, you had to sometimes wait 20 minutes, 30 minutes for a game to load in, but on a floppy disk, it was literally like less than a minute, half a minute, maybe a minute, and it was loaded up. It was just crazy. But they were quite expensive, a floppy disk drive in the UK for the Commodore 64. Not everyone kind of had it. When of course I had the Amiga, then obviously that had a built-in floppy disk drive. And then I bought another one, so I had 2 of them, because there was a lot of games that came out that were like multi-disc, so you could put one disc in and then you could have 2 discs running at the same time. And then of course the printers used to be dot matrix printers as well. And then the internet was basically like, not the internet as such, but there was like different places that you could go to which would have like an interface on where you could like access files, or there might be a chat room where you could like chat to people. Yeah, 3.5 discs. Yeah, exactly. It's crazy, isn't it? I mean, it's like Windows. I remember when we had Windows on floppies. Windows NT, Windows 95, Windows, DOS. I mean, even I can't remember how many. I mean, DOS used to come on quite a few discs as well, didn't it? When you used to install MS DOS, that was quite a few discs, and you were just always hoping that one of the discs wasn't broken or didn't have an error. Right, we're coming back down now. Windows 3.1 from workgroups was 3 discs. Was it really only 3 discs? Blimey. It's crazy, isn't it? An operating system on 3 discs. But I remember like NT and that used to have quite a few. And then with NT, it's like if you had loads of service packs that would come out as well quite often. So you'd have to install Windows NT and then you'd have like the service packs. But then that was basically going. I mean, the last version of Windows NT I had and Windows 2000, they were on CDs, because obviously CD drives were a thing then. So I used to install them from CD, and then the service pack used to be on you could either download it, if you had an internet, you could download it from the Microsoft site, or you could have it on a separate CD. And I think when you bought a PC later on, if there was already a service pack out, then it would come with that CD with the service pack on it as well. Like Service Pack 5, I think, might have been the last Service Pack. I I think that was about the latest one. Still got them. Yeah, I don't have them myself because it was my work PC that used to have DOS on it. When I actually got my own PC for myself, it was Windows 95 I had on it. By the time I got my own PC, it was Windows 95 and had a CD drive and things. But my work PCs that I had used to be DOS and stuff, and then for a while we were giving OS 2 a go as well. But yeah, Windows and DOS. Right, it's starting to come down a little bit now. It was still quite high up, but you got your first PC from your grandparents. Oh, did you? That's nice. Yeah, the good thing about what I used to do in the 90s was that we'd get different PCs from different companies, because the whole point was to promote them and you know, all product lines. So HP, we did a lot of stuff for, either for their PCs that were bringing out, or their but also their printers or their storage devices that they used to bring out. Olivetti, we used to do stuff for their desktop PCs or servers. Dell, Compaq, Gateway. And they were mainly just, some of them, the things were just retail stuff. So like, you know, you'd go to a computer shop and they might have a demo running, you know, like this PC got this feature and that feature. We did some work for Intel as well when they were bringing out the processors with MMX technology. So we had like animations and music and all sorts of things, and they would just install them on machines, and then they'd be running, you know, either at events, you know, like trade events or whatever. So we used to get a lot of computers in from the manufacturers, and then we'd have people that I used to work with that used to do 3D models. So they'd like we'd get the PC in to basically do a 3D model of it and stuff, and then they'd like do animations of all the features that they're supposed to have, you know, whatever, how they work, you know, bubble jet printers. Hey, no worries, Katie. We're kind of getting close to the mainland now. You can just about see it through the clouds over there. So we're getting close now to the shore. We've got about 8 gallons of fuel left, so we haven't really got a lot of gas left. So I'm starting to descend soon to come down. So we're doing 140 kilometers an hour, so that's about 80 miles an hour at the moment. I'm just looking, whereabouts are we going to come ashore? Let's have a look. So I'm just going to quickly put Volanta on, so to show you whereabouts we're going to come across. So we're coming across, so we got Barrow Inverness down here, we got Blackpool just here, so we're going to be coming across the mainland somewhere in this area, Anna side, and then sort of heading towards the Lake District more or less, Keswick, Penrith, Windermere over here. So yeah, that's basically where we are. That's where we are at the minute. We're off to the lakes, yeah, exactly. That's where we might end up. We might end up in the lakes, so Who knows where we might end up. We'll probably go over the West Coast main line over Shap. That'd be interesting. But yeah, not been a bad little flight this. It's been quite fun, really. Yeah, exactly. I mean, I say 60, you know, more or less, but I know it's slightly off, but it's just a rough guesstimation here. But yeah, we're doing 134 kilometers an hour now, so as I said, as we're getting a bit lower, the speed's dropping off a little bit, but I can start to see the Lake District coming up now in the distance. So we'll probably just stay above hill height, and then once it gets to a point where I'm literally down to fumes and I have to start making a softer landing, and then God knows where we'll end up. But at least we've made it across. Well, we haven't made it just yet, but I think we will. I think we will make it across to the land on the other side, so it's not too bad. I'm quite pleased with the flight today. My aims have been achieved, which was to get across to the other side. Of course, I could always use this flight as a basically like you know, as a barometer in a way, because then I could look at the flight path we took from here and think, well, if I go a bit further south, then it might mean that when we reach the other side we'll be over Blackpool. So I mean, you can do it like that. You know, if I go a bit further south from Dublin, then we could probably end up flying over near to Blackpool more. And that's the date confirmed for my move and all paid for. Alright. Off to Blackpool. As we're getting into the cloud, it's getting a little bit more bumpier. So we're at 2,100 metres now. Still doing 130 kilometres an hour though. I think as we get nearer to the ground, it's going to start gusting a bit more again, so there'll be like gusts. So excited, want to go today. Oh. Into the cloud, kinda. If you go from Dublin due east and you've got enough gas, I'm living 530 miles east of it. Oh, whereabouts is that, Ernie? In the Netherlands? Whereabouts is that? Or you living in Denmark or something? Or you in Germany, or I don't know, my geography's not so good now. Oh, Netherlands, okay, that's cool. Another Dutch viewer. That's super. Got a few Dutch viewers. One of my other Dutch viewers is called Carder. He streams a lot of train sim. I think you might know him, maybe you know Card already. He does some train sim streams now and again, although he streams a lot of things. He's very, bit like me in a way. He'll get into a game and stream it for a little while, and then he'll stream something else for a while. I've only been to Amsterdam in the Netherlands, so yeah. I've flown over the Netherlands a few times though. Sometimes when I've gone to Sweden, depending on the routing that we go, sometimes we go over the North Sea and over Denmark, the northern part, and other times we've gone along the coast of the Netherlands and Germany, and then through the southern part of Denmark and then up through Sweden that way. It just depended on the routing that day and what the best winds were for the flight. You know, if there was a weather system over North Sea, they'd sort of like divert us around it. So yeah, I've seen a bit of Netherlands from the air. Well, the northern part of Netherlands, you know, the north coast of it. So yeah, I've had quite a few Dutch viewers in over time, which is good. There's also a guy I watch on Twitch. He's doing a round the world flight in a Cessna. He's Dutch. And then obviously there's Ripku. He's a Dutch streamer, does train sims, does a lot of Dutch routes. He's and then there's quite a few Dutch people doing streams. Got I think we've been to Groningen as well. EHGG. I think I've been there. I think I've been there before in flight sim. I did a drift once on here with the Sting in 2020, Ernie, and we started from Birmingham because that's where I always used to start the flights from Birmingham. And we almost made it all the way to the runway at Amsterdam. We literally landed about a mile, maybe a mile, about a kilometre and a half short of Amsterdam airport, which was pretty funny. We literally almost made it to the airport. We started from Birmingham airport and drifted all the way to Amsterdam. That was quite cool. Here we go. We start to see the coastline now. Look, as I said, it's a shame that they never updated the markers yet, so you get the place names like you can in 2020. Yeah, we are. Yeah. Oh, yeah. We will make it. I mean, we still got a bit of gas left. Let's see. Yeah, we're down to our last 40, 4 gallons now. So yeah, as I said, I'm going to have to start descending now. But hopefully, I'll try and keep over these over the Lake District as we get nearer towards the hills and stuff. But I've got a feeling we might hit one of the hills as we're going. But hitting the ground is one thing. The balloon will then decide it wants to go off for at least a while before it actually stops somewhere. So it'd be interesting to see where we actually do end up. But yeah, enjoy the view of the Lake District as we're coming down. Yeah, I think as I said, I've been there. I think I went there in the ATR. You know, when I was doing some flights in the ATR, I went there as well. I think I ended up downloading some freeware software from flightsim.to of the airport someone had done. You know, where they'd customised it a little bit, I think. Wow, look at the sea down there. It looks really choppy. It's very, very, very nice area of the country, the Lake District. What's our speed now? 107 knots now, so yeah, it's gusting a little bit. So we're doing about, yeah, it's gusting quite a bit. It's going from like 100 kilometres to about 110 and back down to 100 again. And as you can see, as we're getting lower, the basket's being buffeted about a lot more. But yeah, I do like the Netherlands. I'd like to go there again and explore it a little bit more. Definitely. Nice people there too, Dutch people. There's a railway. Is that a railway line down there we're about to go over? I think that's the railway line there, isn't it? It goes from Barrow. I think probably been along that railway line in train sim maybe. because I think that's where the bridge is over there, isn't it? It's like there's a bridge that's supposed to go over the river there, but obviously it's not in the sim. Although I think one of the Orbex packs might have the bridge in it. Yeah, there should be a bridge just over here. I don't know if you can see my mouse cursor. I don't know if it shows up, but there should be a rail bridge there. As I said, we're getting quite low on gas now, so I'm just want to fly low now because it will just run out at any moment. So at least the drop will be a bit better. So, but obviously the only problem is we've got these hills coming up in a minute. So I'm going to have to keep using the gas to get over these hills. So we'll see how it goes. There might be a lake on the other side of those hills somewhere as well, so we might end up landing in the lake. I don't know yet. We're doing we're doing nearly 60 miles an hour now. So it's almost like we're on approach. This is that landing gear down. Flaps. That's what it's like. It's like we're coming into land. I mean, we're more or less doing the same sort of speed as what like a Cessna's. No, actually, no, we're not. If we were doing 100 miles an hour, yeah, maybe. But see, I'm getting my kilometres and my knots mixed up again. But I suppose that, you know, a Cessna with full flaps, Cessna 152 is probably doing about 60 miles an hour. You can hear the wind as well. The wind's starting to like pick up a lot more now as we get lower to the ground. Like you hear all the gusts. You can see that the basket starts to move around a lot more as well now as we're getting down. I think I might have turned off the car traffic, so you can't really see any cars on the road, which is a shame. Can't remember what setting I had it on for the cars. A lot of trees. I'm also looking at Simulation Spy stream, how he's trashing his construction equipment. Oh, is he doing like a construction simulator game or something? Oh, we have got cars. There we go. Just about to see a car now. It's on the wrong side of the road though. He's driving on the wrong side. Oh, we're getting some hills coming up now. Oh dear. Can you imagine me playing a construction game where you gotta like drive a digger or something? That'd be a nightmare. Imagine that. If you think me driving trains is chaotic, can you imagine me driving like that? Or driving a truck? That's one reason I don't play SnowRunner, because can you imagine? Can you imagine me playing SnowRunner or MudRunner? Trashing the road, yeah. I mean, as it is, I'm going to be trashing a balloon in a minute. I was hoping they might have had some cattle on the ground, you know, as we were flying over, you know, some sheep or cows. Sometimes you fly over cows fields in 2024 and you can see cows and sheep below, but I haven't seen any animals just yet. You play SnowRunner? Yeah, a few people I know play SnowRunner and MudRunner. One of my streaming friends streams a SnowRunner stream now and again. He does a bit of multiplayer with it. I've got to get over this hill. It's weird. It's just looking at this terrain. It's almost like, for a moment, it's like I'm over California. The colour of the ground textures and stuff. Reminds you of the time you was driving around the southern end of Lake Windermere and came across 30 Chinese people riding the segways. Oh, like, yeah. I'm trying to think where I saw people on like a segway tour. I'm trying to think where it was. I know at Stockholm Arlanda Airport, a lot of the staff used to go around on segways, you know, to go from one gate to another. You know, if they were working at the, you know, the gates, you know, where they had to check people's tickets, and then they might have to go to another terminal, and they're all riding around on like these like segways and stuff. I'm trying to think where I saw a Segway tour somewhere once. Can't remember where though. Well, hopefully we got enough to get over here. Right, we've got a lake coming up behind there. Be funny if I still got the map up. Although I think you lot would have told me already if the map was still up on the screen. Oh, that's good. You gotta go see her then, don't you? Yeah, I've got friends that have moved around from different places. You know, I had someone that used to live in Yorkshire, they moved to London, and then there was someone else I know that used to live on the east coast of America in Connecticut, and then they moved to Florida. Ooh, it's getting really rockety now. You can see that the wind, now we're getting quite low, the gusts of wind are like getting quite bad. Yeah, exactly, you get that too, don't you? You get some people that just never even, you know, have been out of their county in a way, you know, well, the equivalent. You know, I know people that live in Spain that, you know, haven't even travelled like maybe 30, 40 miles away from where they lived. Don't have passports. There's a lot of people in America, for example, I think, that don't have passports. I think it's quite a high percentage, wasn't it? Cheers, Ernie. Thanks for popping in. Nice to see you. Thanks for watching the stream as well. I'm glad you enjoyed it. And yeah, have a good lunch. And yeah, see you in another stream. Thanks for watching. If you want to see how I got on, you can always just watch the video back, and you'll be able to see where I landed or what happened. You never know. I might still be going across the ground when you come, if you look later. Going by other flights. You know, landing is one thing, where we actually end up is another. Yeah, cheers, take care of yourself. Okay, so gonna have to get some gas to get over this hill, I think. We haven't come over near any towns yet as well, have we? Apart from when we went over the coast. Oh, it's getting really, really rocky now. Now we're getting lower to the ground. It's like really horrible. Yeah, exactly, Katie, yeah. It's just, this is just part one. Part two is like the next part. Although, as I said, there's been some game updates since, so I'm hoping that they haven't, you know, probably don't want to land here because, yeah, as it's uphill, we probably won't go very far. So I'm hoping we can at least make it over this hill, so that then the next part will be a downhill section. No, you know, but I was just thinking of like Penrith and some of the other towns as we go along. But I'm hoping we get enough. Hoping I've got enough gas just to get over this bit. I'm hoping we have. It's blowing a gale. That he's turned his head away. He's upset with me. I'm not talking to you. It's crazy. It's so rocky. It's so breezy along here. I can just hear it. I don't know if you guys can hear it. I've got the volume quite low of the game. Gamulator. So yeah. As I said, we're going to be running out of gas. Yeah, exactly. Gosh, we got like these really big mountain things coming up. I think they're mountains, aren't they, here? I can't remember if they're classed as mountains yet, because I can't remember the heights of them. So they might still be classed as hills, but... yeah, it is once you get down to ground level again, Egbert. It does get really breezy again. So we're a little bit higher up again, but once we were getting quite close to the ground, so I've gone up a little bit again. I'm just going to have a look on Volanta quickly to see whereabouts we're over. So we're heading towards, we're sort of, we've got the old, okay, so that hill that's coming up, I think is called the Old Man of Coniston, and then over the other side we've got Coniston itself, Coniston Water, and then we've got Ambleside. Mountain things, learned English. Yeah, exactly, mountain things. Yeah, exactly. The CK way. should have had Jeff on the flight with me, shouldn't I? Then he could tell us where we are. You know, we're over Uzbekistan at the minute. Yeah, maybe I should have put Jeff on. Ambleside is pretty. It was very pretty. Well, maybe it won't be in a minute. When I get there. Trust me to have to go over the biggest hill yet, though. Look, I don't even know if we're going to get... We might get stuck on here. We might end up doing a ski Sunday for Egbert, you know, where we actually end up going back down the slope. Down to the bottom. I don't know how it's going to work. I'm hoping I've got enough gas to get over this... this bit in front of us. Yeah, exactly. As I said, I've been along the Settle to Carlisle line. That was quite nice. Although, unfortunately for me, the day that I went along the Settle to Carlisle road line, it was a bit foggy and misty and a bit rainy. But it was still a nice trip nonetheless. Went on a 158, if I remember, from Leeds. 158, a Northern. Looks like Yosemite. Yeah, it does a little bit, doesn't it? Well, that's an idea. Maybe I'll have to do a flight around there at some point, Egbert. That's a good call, actually. Yosemite. See if we can see Yogi Bear. Boo boo boo. Here we go. Oh dear. See, this is what you do to me. There's a nice scenic railway somewhere. Can't remember its name. Oh. Right, I need to really put some gas down now. I'm hoping we're going to get enough to go over. Oh gosh. I'm hoping we're going to make it over the top of this. Oh, it's getting bumpy dumpy. Ooh. It's like the wind's just died off. Where's the wind gone? It might just be because maybe this is shielding it, maybe? Don't know. It's like the wind really died down here a minute. Please get enough to go over the top. Very nice though. Nice view, isn't it? Don't you think? Very, very, very pretty. Well, picturesque. I'm hoping we got enough to go over the top of this though. Right, it still says the wind's like 30 kilometres, but it doesn't seem a lot. But it might have been we're being shielded by this rock, maybe. I don't know how it's working. I don't know how we'd be shielded by the rock, but anyway, it's almost like the wind died down as we got to a certain distance away. So it could just be the MSFS turbulence thing, you know, the way the wind goes along things and stuff. But hey, it's given me it's a little bit. There we go. Oh, we're definitely going up a little bit now. That's good. There's a little valley over there. We're quite high up it now, aren't we? Because obviously we've had to go over these hills. Wow. It could also be the gusts are at a certain height, and then because we went up the side of this mountain, as we got higher, the gusts died down. Because we are about 900 metres above the ground again here. And I think I was only like 200 metres before I had to climb up to the side of this one again. But we got another top to negotiate in a minute. I'm just waiting for the inevitable end of the gas sound, you know, where there's no more. And then that's it. If we can get over here, that would be great, because there's like quite a large expanse before we actually get to some more hills again. So I've got a feeling we'll probably end up landing maybe in here somewhere, maybe. Where we end up, I don't know. It was closed when you visited. Oh, that's a shame, Egbert. It's annoying when that happens, isn't it? If you go to somewhere and you're looking forward to it and then there's like a closed sign. Especially if you didn't, I mean, if you knew about it in advance that it's closed, it's not too bad. But obviously if it's somewhere and you didn't know it was closed. It's a bit like sometimes when you used to go to the National Railway Museum in York or something, and they might have an area that's closed off because they're doing stuff with it that you didn't really know about. But of course it's easier these days with social media to see which bits are closed off. But I mean, you know, if you went back a few years. Oh, sorry, it was I thought it was Egbert that wrote that. Sorry, it's you, Katie. So you were just driving past anyway. Yeah. Right, let's get over this top here. You know what would be really cool on some of these areas along here where you've got little walkways, you know, just to see the odd hiker? Either just like a little 3D figure that's just standing there. I mean, I suppose you could add them in, couldn't you? You could go along and get some of the assets and just make little people stand up here randomly in places and then just do it as a scenery to put on flightsim.to or something, where you just have the odd hikers standing around as you're floating past. So how far are we into the stream now? We're 2 hours and 10 minutes. That's not been a bad stream length then. 2 hours. That's quite good. You can also hear the birds singing, which is quite interesting. I wonder if I'm going to end up in that lake, in that little bit of water over there. Wow, it's 12 o'clock. Damn. Time's moving. Time's whizzing by today. Yeah, because of all these hills here and things, I think even when the balloon lands, I think because of the fact that there's going to be blown up a hill, I think we're going to get stuck quite quickly. So we probably won't go so far as in, you know, it's not going to be like some of the other streams where I've landed and then we go along for about half an hour through trees. Because it's not very flat here, is it? It's not like the Netherlands. Oh, there we go. Got hit by a gust of wind again. So as soon as you get to a certain height, it sort of like hits you. And you can hear it as well in the sim. It's like, it's quite funny. It's like it was quite calm and then suddenly it was like a whoosh. And you can see we're moving along a lot quicker now. Back through Lord of the Rings. Yeah. Yeah, that's another nice place in the sim to go to, is New Zealand. Yeah, definitely. It's getting very... Sick bags at the ready. Oh gosh. Whee! He's really being buffeted about. How are we doing? Got to add a bit more gas now, because we are coming down quite quick, so I'm running at 17C. I got a feeling we might end up... Yeah. I'm hoping we don't get quite close to those hills on that side. Maybe I should have tried to see if I could land in that water or not. Right, I think you all should all start bracing for impact soon. Especially when I do the burner and then it just nothing comes out. It's just completely silent. I think we might just skirt the main slope of this hill over here. We're going to get quite close to the side of it though. Oh, there's some animals down there at last. You can see some... Is that sheep down there maybe? At least they're not running around everywhere like they used to. Oh no, they started running. Oh gosh. Oh, it's getting so bad now. Oh dear. He's really getting buffeted about. That balloon's a bit worrying. It's almost like it's collapsing. Oh. Right, we're heading towards another hill though, but I don't know if we're going to actually be able to make it over the top of the hill. Oh, is that Lake Windermere over there? Maybe, or was that the other one, Coniston? Is that lake that I can see? Oh, that's Lake Windermere. We're about to go over near Ambleside in a minute. We're very close to Ambleside now. I think it must be over the other side of that hill. Maybe. But yeah, there's Lake Windermere over there in the distance. Wow, it's really buffeting about now. Oh, here we go. Could this be the last throw? Oh, we're getting close. Ah! Oh no, we're out. We're out of gas. Oh, we might be going in the water. We might be going into the water now. I think we should do a water landing myself. It might be the best way to do this. Oh, it's getting Stutterfest as well. Stutterfest are here. Right. Oh, I think we didn't make it. Oh no. Oh well. Uh-oh. 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 Brace. Oh, he's going through the trees. Oh, I think he might be stuck. I think he's stuck. I think that might be the end. Oh well, never mind. Oh no, he's off again. He's off again. This could be a I don't know if he's going to manage to get over there or not. Or get loose, maybe. I'll give it a little while, and then if it doesn't seem to go much, then I always love how it's just like ripped into pieces and yet it just carries on, but you know, I'm not expecting completely realistic physics here. We almost get over the hill almost, but you know. No worries, I'm just hanging about at the minute. Oh, we're going back, we're going down. Oh, are we going down? I don't know what we're doing. Oh, yeah, I think this might be the end now. I think this might be the final resting place. Yeah. he's just rested his head on the ground next to the pine cones. Oh dear. You need a pillow. I think he needs a pillow, doesn't he, really? Yes, up there. What in the tree? What's in the tree? What's in the tree? Is there somebody in the tree? Oh, never mind. Right, where were we anyway? We got quite close. There was, I think Ambleside was on the other side. Over there, maybe? I think that's... Is that Ambleside over there, maybe? Looks like it anyway. So I think this was the final resting place for the balloon, unfortunately. But we did all right. It was a lot of fun. Can't even find where I am now. Here he is. He's just here. Yeah, I don't think we're going anywhere else now. I think that is it. Right. So let's have a look at the statistics, shall we? While he's just sitting there resting. Let's go into Volanta map and see where we went to. So yeah, you can see we landed just quite close to Ambleside, and then there's Skelwith Bridge, Clappers Gate. We're quite close to Lake Windermere in the end. Not bad. There's a place here called Roger Ground. It's a shame that's not where we actually landed, at Roger Ground. That would have been quite funny. Was that little bit of water there got a name? Oh, it's called something Tarn. Oh, okay, so that water. That was Elter Water. So yeah, quite an interesting flight. As you can see, as we got lower, our flight plan did kind of change a little bit. Let's just have a look on here. Bonus is where your friend lived. Yeah. Is that... Oh, what are we doing here? That's not where we were. Oh, it's taking me back. So we started from Dublin. Those of you that might not have been watching right at the beginning, we started near Dublin in a park, and we headed up over Dublin and then went over the Irish Sea, and then we ended up going past Isle of Man, and then we ended up over here. So statistics wise, let's have a look, see how see what the distance we travelled in. We travelled for 2 hours and 6 minutes, and we travelled 137 miles, and we burnt 67 kilograms of fuel, which is a little bit more than my drifting flights. So yeah, not too bad. Landing rate 6 feet a minute, although I don't know if that was the first landing or not. Probably. I think my first landing might have been a little bit more bumpier than that. But don't forget, we're only in a balloon and we're not exactly whizzing along at high speed. So what was it? Yeah, 515 feet was the first one at 24 knots. So, and then the second landing was at 890 feet. So I don't know if he'd actually be alive if this was actually real life. I think he'd have been dead from the impacts. But as this is a gamulator, then obviously you can get away with more. Right, anyway, I think that's it for the stream. I'll have to do another one of these in the coming days. It's just a different storm, a different location, see where we end up. But yeah, anyway, I'm going to... or maybe what I'll try to do is, let's have a look here. So we ended up in Blackpool. I wonder if we could do from a different place next time. Maybe start from somewhere like down here and then see if with the winds we end up in Blackpool. Don't know, who knows. But anyway, we almost got to Newcastle, but no, not bad though, not bad. Maybe I should do one in this wind starting from Valley, because you know we know Valley was quite a nice place. Maybe I should do one the same day but from Valley instead, and see where we end up from Valley. See if we can end up say in York or Scarborough or Hull. Good game. Yeah, interesting. Anyway, at least we made it across. So yeah, anyway, I'm going to shoot off now. I don't know if I'll be doing a stream later today. Just have to wait and see if one turns up. If I do one, not sure what it'll be. don't know really. Not sure what to do. I have a Train Sim Classic. I don't know if Egbert's doing a stream today as well. No worries, everybody. Anyway, you have a good rest of the afternoon if I don't see you, and see you again in another stream. But for now, I'd like to say ta-ta, and yeah, from my friend that's just lying down in the at the side. We'll see you all again. No stream from me. Okay. I just wondered if you were going to stream and to try and beat my career scenarios scores, but I don't know. I've got no idea what I'm doing, Egbert, to be honest. We'll see. Right. Anyway, I'm going to disappear. So yeah, bye for now.
Trains, trucks to parachute planes. Let's see where we drift to. Buffers in reverse, road signs wrecked. It's CK Sim gaming time. Driving trains, trucks to parachute planes. Let's see where we drift to. Buffers in reverse, road signs wrecked. It's CK Sim gaming time. Trains, taking to stations, forgetting to stop. Driving through red lights, bad buffer stops. It's time for CK Sim gaming. CK Sim gaming time. CK Sim gaming. Driving through stations, forgetting to stop. Driving